Chicago Cubs. News today.
Horton dominant, Amaya on fire, Happ sending one to the bleachers, and the Cubs crushing it in their first win of the year. Now let me ask you something, Cubs fans. Did you expect to see this happen? Because what went down today at Wrigley was exactly the kind of game we needed to see. And there's a lot to talk about in how this team started 2026 the right way. Cubs 10, Nationals 2, first win of 2026. The Cubs opened the 2026 season exactly how we wanted to see. A home win at Wrigley, 10-2 over the Washington Nationals. Big score, controlled game, and some performances that deserve attention. This wasn't luck. This wasn't an easy game. This was the kind of performance that shows what this team can be when everything clicks together. The game started tight. Michael has retired the first 4 Cubs hitters without trouble. It looked like it might be a tough afternoon offensively. But in the second inning, Chicago loaded the bases with 1 out, 2 walks, and a base hit. Matt Shaw opened the scoring with a sacrifice fly, and Amaya followed with a base hit that drove in another run. Still in the second, when it looked like Washington might limit the damage, shortstop Nasim Nunez interfered on a play and was charged with an error that allowed 2 more runs to score. Suddenly, the Cubs were already up by 4. In the fourth, James Wood answered with a solo home run for the Nationals. But Amaya didn't let the momentum shift. He responded with a solo home run in the same inning.
Immediate answer.
That kind of response is what separates teams that compete from teams that just show up. In the sixth, Ian Happ sealed it. With 2 runners on and 2 outs, he jumped on the first pitch from Waldichuk and sent it to the bleachers. A 3-run home run. Carson Kelly then drew a bases-loaded walk and another run came in. 4 runs in the inning. Game over. Chicago fans, drop a like to support the channel. It really helps Chicago Cubs News Today keep bringing you analysis every single day. Now looking at the bigger picture, this win matters beyond the scoreboard. The Cubs came into 2026 with some open questions. Will the young rotation hold up? Will the offense be consistent? Will the defense step up in tough moments? Today was one of those days where all 3 questions had positive answers at the same time. And that doesn't happen every game. Horton pitched 6 1/3 innings, allowed 2 runs, 4 hits, and had 4 strikeouts. After winning 11 games as a rookie last year, he came into 2026 with high expectations. And he delivered a mature, controlled outing with no drama. Exactly what the team needed to see from its number 2 starter. If you've followed this team for years, you know what it means to see a young catcher like Miguel Amaya respond to an opponent's home run with one of his own in the same inning. That's not just stats, that's mindset. That's something you can't teach. And Ian Happ? Man, Happ is the kind of player Chicago fans truly appreciate. He doesn't make noise off the field, but when it matters, he shows up. First pitch, 3 runs. Fly the W. The impact of this win goes beyond the first mark in the standings. It sets a behavioral standard for the team. When Washington answered with a home run in the fourth, the Cubs didn't back down, they answered right back. That's competitive culture being built in real time. Pete Crow Armstrong had 2 hits. Nico Horner drove in a run with a double in the 5th. The offense didn't rely on 1 or 2 stars. It was spread out, patient, and efficient against an experienced pitcher. The bullpen did its job too. Mayton, Thielbar, and Webb combined for 2 2/3 scoreless innings. Clean result from start to finish. What's worth watching going forward is Amaya's role in the lineup. There's a growing conversation among those who follow the team closely about his potential as a central piece of the offense, not just as a catcher. A catcher who hits for power and responds to pressure like that at Wrigley on opening day sends a quiet message to the entire league. Horton is also on the radar. If he maintains this level, the conversation about the Cubs' rotation in October will look very different from what it was in March. In my view, what excited me most today wasn't the score. It was the response. Every time Washington tried to answer, the Cubs answered back faster and stronger. That's the DNA of a team that wants more than just showing up in the playoffs. It's still just one game. But this kind of game leaves a signal. If Horton confirms this form throughout April, the Cubs could have one of the most interesting rotations in the National League Central. If Amaya keeps producing at the plate while handling his job behind it, he becomes a real difference maker. And if the offense keeps spreading runs across 6 or 7 different players, it becomes much harder for any opposing pitcher to game plan against them. The optimistic scenario is there. And today was Chapter 1, first win of 2026. A packed Wrigley Field, Amaya and Happ going deep, Horton dominating for more than 6 innings. That's no small thing, Cubs fans. The Cubs played today like a team that knows what it wants. And those of us who follow this team every day know how to recognize when something different is being built.